Imagining a boxing match between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul is intriguing. It brings together two personalities from vastly different eras and paths, yet both have established undeniable fame. Mike Tyson, often regarded as one of the most formidable heavyweights in history, dominated the boxing ring in the 1980s and 1990s with unparalleled ferocity, power, and speed. Known for his explosive knockouts, Tyson's early career was marked by a relentless drive and sheer strength that left opponents stunned and fans captivated. He became the youngest heavyweight champion at just 20 years old, and his journey from a troubled youth to a world-famous fighter created an aura around him that few athletes have ever achieved. His skill set, including his signature peekaboo style, allowed him to close distances quickly, dodging punches with head movement that seemed effortless and unleashing power that opponents rarely survived. In stark contrast, Jake Paul's rise in the boxing world has been unconventional. Initially gaining fame on YouTube, Paul built a following through pranks, vlogs, and social media influence. His entry into boxing in 2018 was met with skepticism, as he faced criticism for stepping into a sport that many believed should be reserved for lifelong athletes. However, Jake has consistently proven his determination, training rigorously and facing opponents from a variety of backgrounds, albeit not seasoned professional boxers. His skills in the ring have shown steady improvement, with notable wins against MMA fighters like Ben Askren and Tyron Woodley, and he's displayed resilience and an understanding of strategy that have surprised many. Jake's style is based on physical conditioning, careful selection of opponents, and a calculated approach to both offense and defense. While critics argue he has yet to face a true professional boxer at his level, he has nonetheless attracted a massive following and opened doors for social media stars entering traditional sports. If a match were set between Tyson and Paul, the build-up would likely be as thrilling as the fight itself. Fans would be split between seeing Tyson as the obvious favorite and Jake as the underdog with something to prove. Tyson, who in recent years has staged a comeback of sorts through exhibition matches, has maintained his fierce aura and shown that age hasn't completely diminished his power or technique. Although not at his peak, Tyson's recent exhibition with Roy Jones Jr. reminded fans of his enduring power and ability to control the ring. On the other hand, Jake's younger age, height advantage, and consistent training could give him certain advantages. His motivation would likely be fueled by the opportunity to test himself against a living legend and to validate his place in boxing history. In terms of fighting style, Tyson's approach would likely involve an aggressive start, aiming to overwhelm Jake with his signature powerful blows and close-range attacks. Despite being well past his prime, Tyson still possesses the instinct and raw power that make him dangerous, especially for a less experienced boxer. Jake, aware of Tyson's strengths, would likely adopt a defensive strategy in the early rounds, focusing on footwork and maintaining distance. Jake's team would undoubtedly prepare him to survive the initial rounds, hoping to tire Tyson and take advantage of any fatigue that could come from Tyson's age. This strategic patience could be a key factor, as many of Tyson's past opponents were often worn down by his fast pace early on. But if Jake could weather that storm, he might find opportunities later in the match. A hypothetical breakdown of the rounds could go something like this. Tyson might dominate the first few rounds, setting an intense pace, attempting to corner Jake, and showcasing his powerful combinations. Jake's defense would be critical here. His youth and agility could enable him to evade Tyson's most forceful punches. Around the mid-rounds, if Jake managed to avoid taking substantial damage, the balance might start to shift slightly as Tyson's stamina would come into question. Jake's cardio has been consistently impressive, as seen in his fights that have gone multiple rounds, and he could potentially capitalize on a slow Tyson by landing carefully timed counter-punches. The notion of a boxing match between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul not only excites, but also encapsulates a blend of tradition and modernity, contrasting eras and the evolving nature of sports in today's digital age. Mike Tyson represents a golden age of heavyweight boxing, where grit, discipline, and raw power dominated the narrative. Known for his intense presence, Tyson's early career stunned audiences with his intimidating walkouts, explosive punches, and swift knockouts. His boxing journey began as a young, troubled kid from Brooklyn, finding purpose and power in the ring under the mentorship of legendary trainer Cus D'Amato. Tyson's rise in the 1980s transformed him into an icon. He became the youngest heavyweight champion, winning titles in multiple organizations. His fierce style, marked by his peekaboo guard and powerful hooks, left an indelible mark on boxing. On the other side, Jake Paul's entry into boxing has been more modern, driven by social media fame and a love for controversy. Rising to fame initially through online content and pranks, he is a product of the influencer era, where fame is generated through screens rather than sports arenas. Since his boxing debut, Paul has garnered a reputation for smart marketing, astute fight selections, and gradual skill improvement. His victories over non-professional boxers and MMA fighters have kept fans engaged, and each fight attracts a new wave of supporters and critics alike. Paul's journey is unconventional, but speaks to the power of digital influence in the sports world. Despite his lack of traditional boxing pedigree, Jake has trained rigorously, dedicating time to refining his techniques and proving doubters wrong, a determination that has slowly begun to garner respect from some quarters in the boxing community. A Tyson versus Paul fight, while unconventional, would be a testament to the evolving nature of sports entertainment. Tyson's skill lies in his explosiveness and ability to control the ring, attributes that would pose a significant challenge to Jake. Tyson's peekaboo style, which involves a high guard position, allows him to bob and weave through punches, finding openings to counter with ferocious power. Even today, Tyson has shown that he retains much of his legendary strength and speed, evidenced in his exhibition fight with Roy Jones Jr., where he displayed remarkable fitness and agility for his age. The impact of his punches, even at a slower pace, reminded fans of his dominance in his prime. Jake, meanwhile, would rely heavily on distance management, youth, and his endurance. Paul has shown a willingness to train intensively, evidenced by his stamina in previous bouts. He would likely seek to frustrate Tyson by moving around the ring, trying to outlast him while looking for openings to land counters. This match's hypothetical breakdown would reflect the contrasting strengths and weaknesses of both fighters. In the initial rounds, Tyson would undoubtedly dominate with his aggressive style, putting pressure on Jake from the bell. Tyson's strategy would involve closing the distance quickly, aiming to pin Jake against the ropes where he could unleash his devastating combinations. Tyson's punches, particularly his hooks, would threaten Jake's defenses, and Jake's ability to withstand this would be pivotal. Tyson's head movement, combined with his low center of gravity, makes him challenging to counter. His opponents in his prime found it nearly impossible to land clean shots. While Tyson's speed isn't what it once was, his movement still reflects his decades of experience, something Jake would need to respect and prepare for. As the match moves into the middle rounds, however, the age factor would begin to play a role. Boxing matches are physically grueling, and Tyson's fitness would be tested against Jake's younger energy reserves. Jake, who has demonstrated consistent cardio in his previous matches, would likely start to find opportunities to press Tyson as the rounds progress. Paul's game plan would include maximizing distance and timing counters, exploiting any signs of fatigue in Tyson. The fight could shift from Tyson's initial dominance to a more even contest, with Jake gradually gaining confidence. If he managed to land a few clean shots, he could test Tyson's endurance and mental resolve in these later rounds. In terms of psychological dynamics, this fight would be charged with intensity and bravado. Tyson is known for his intimidating presence, often unnerving opponents before the fight even begins. His infamous stare-downs are a hallmark of his psychological warfare. Mike Tyson's life is a fascinating tapestry of triumph and turmoil, woven together by the threads of hardship, talent, controversy, and eventual redemption. Born on June 30, 1966, in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York, Tyson's early life was marked by significant challenges. Raised by a single mother, Lorna Tyson, who struggled to provide for her children, young Mike was exposed to a world of poverty, crime, and violence. His neighborhood was notorious for its high crime rates, and Tyson found himself entrenched in that environment, often getting into trouble with the law. By the age of 10, he had been arrested multiple times, and the streets of Brooklyn had a stronghold on him. This tumultuous upbringing fostered an intense desire for escape, which he found through boxing. The turning point in Tyson's life came when he met legendary trainer Cus D'Amato, who recognized the young boy's raw talent and potential. Amato, an old-school trainer, known for his profound psychological insight into boxing, became a father figure to Tyson, providing the guidance and structure he desperately needed. Under D'Amato's mentorship, Tyson honed his skills in the ring, learning the peekaboo style of boxing that emphasized head movement and powerful counter-punching. D'Amato instilled in Tyson a fierce discipline and dedication to the sport, teaching him not only how to fight, but also how to channel his anger and aggression into something productive. Tyson quickly developed a reputation in the amateur ranks, and by the age of 18, he had become the youngest heavyweight champion in history, a record that still stands today. In 1986, Tyson's meteoric rise in the boxing world culminated in his victory over Trevor Berbick, which made him the youngest heavyweight champion at just 20 years old. He unified the heavyweight division with a string of knockouts, overwhelming opponents with his ferocious style and unmatched speed. Tyson's early career was characterized by an impressive string of victories, and he quickly became a household name, often regarded as the baddest man on the planet. His ferocity in the ring, coupled with his intimidating presence, drew attention from fans and media alike. With his success came immense wealth, fame, and a lifestyle that many could only dream of. Tyson was known for his extravagant spending, acquiring luxury cars, mansions, and exotic pets, including a white tiger. However, the lifestyle also brought its share of pitfalls. Tyson's personal life was a tumultuous roller coaster. His marriage to actress Robin Givens in 1988 was heavily scrutinized by the media, and it soon became evident that their relationship was fraught with issues. Givens accused Tyson of domestic abuse, and the marriage ended in a bitter divorce that further tarnished his public image. As his career soared, Tyson found himself battling numerous legal issues and personal demons. The pressures of fame began to take a toll, leading to reckless behavior both inside and outside the ring. His struggles with anger management and relationships became increasingly public, and he found himself facing a series of legal troubles that would overshadow his accomplishments. In 1990, Tyson faced one of the most significant setbacks of his career when he was upset by Buster Douglas in a stunning knockout loss. This defeat marked the beginning of a downward spiral for Tyson, both professionally and personally. Following the loss, Tyson's life became increasingly chaotic. In 1992, he was convicted of rape and sentenced to 6 years in prison, a turn of events that shocked the boxing world. During his incarceration, Tyson spent time reflecting on his life choices and the path that led him there. Upon his release in 1995, he attempted to rebuild his career, but the pressures of the boxing world and his tumultuous personal life continued to haunt him. Tyson's comeback in the late 1990s saw him reclaim the heavyweight championship, but his journey was still riddled with controversy. His infamous bout against Evander Holyfield in 1997 is perhaps the most notorious moment of his career, when he infamously bit Holyfield's ear, resulting in disqualification. This shocking act symbolized the chaos that surrounded Tyson's life and career. The media frenzy that followed further solidified his image as a controversial figure in sports, often overshadowing his remarkable achievements in the ring. Despite these setbacks, Tyson continued to fight and remained a polarizing figure in the boxing community. His persona, both as a fearsome competitor and a troubled individual, captured the imagination of fans around the world.